Damsel is a fascinating game to review. At first, I had some negative feelings about the way the game handled minigames and action. They were shooting themselves in the foot and ruining the flow of their game. However, since I first started playing the game, they've updated it since to remove some of the minigames, which just makes the overall game work a lot better. Now, I'll go more into this later. As far as I'm concerned, Damsel is about precision, and playing it this way has made it fun for me. Many of the mechanics in the game rely on you to hit them a certain way, like the red blood barrels. If you melee them, instead of shooting them, you won't get an extra enemy spawn. But enemies can also shoot and hit the barrel, so you have to attack the situation in a very precise way. Now, this is what makes Damsel unique and exciting. While you do need to be quick and decisive, there's thought required. It's possible to blast your way through, but it's much more difficult. Side note, there is a timer that's shown after finishing a level, but I can't tell what it does. It freaked me out for a bit, but it can be ignored. It doesn't factor into the score or anything else I can see, really, which is confusing at first and why I recommend only thinking about completing a level perfectly, not quickly. The real-time mechanic is about collecting skulls and the skulls combo. The skulls are strewn around the level, carefully placed by the developer. The higher your combo reaches, it's added to your score. The combo timer is very short, but the skulls are plentiful. The levels have other objectives that will pull your attention away from collecting skulls as well. For example, saving hostages or defusing bombs. When doing these tasks, your skull combo will slip away. My tactic is to save a skull or two so that way I can grab them when I'm done. You have to make these calculations in your head fast, really fast. There are a few modes too. First, Damsel has a campaign with a story and some awesome comic panels between each level. I really enjoyed the art. The campaign's objective is more story-based, as you would expect, so killing the vampires is what finishes the levels. This differs from the arcade mode, where you only have to collect all the skulls. You do get bonus points for completing these side objectives as well. If you did want to crank it up in the campaign, there are two modes. The first, chill out mode, makes the game easier, and the hothead mode will kill the player if their skull combo drops. I imagine that to be quite difficult. Damsel is at its best when you're in a flow, shooting vampires and swiftly moving through the level. So what happened at launch? Well, there were too many complicated minigames getting in the way. You would have to full stop and do a small puzzle which would eat up your skull combo a lot. After the patch to remove some of the minigames, but not all of them, and simplify others, Damsel plays so much smoother. Now they're mostly button mashing ones that give the game more depth. I know button mashing, but it does work that way. You have to balance them between collecting the skulls. It's amazing that they made such a huge change to their game, and one of the reasons that reviewing games is pretty tough. At least on YouTube, where I can't edit the video and developers can change anything. It is one of the few ever-changing mediums, unless it's a Kanye West album. With DLC and bug fixes, after many years, a game can change quite a bit. It's something I think about often, and I suppose written words are easier to change. But it still takes time to go back, replay the parts of the game that changed, see if they actually made any difference, and then have to rewrite the words. What do you think? It's really, kind of difficult. Anyway, Damsel is still a bit rough. The controls are okay, and I found the ledge grabbing to be aggressive. I sometimes can't drop the way I want to. Also, there are moments of annoyances where the vampires get a cheap shot in, or how hostages can get shot. I mean, yeah, that's the game though. Don't shoot 3 times when you only meant to shoot twice. Otherwise, you'll hit the hostage and it immediately ends the level. Instant fail states are such a bummer. Another weird mechanic is some super skulls you can get. You're going to give me shit for not going back and looking to see what they do, but I'm telling you that it doesn't matter and it's not required at all. It would probably make the game easier, but I didn't have any need for it. The indication is tiny under the combo if you have a super skull or something, so it's just easier to focus on the game than worrying about this mechanic. Overall, I like Damsel. It's really no surprise, a mechanically focused game that requires precision. The patch that removed the minigames completely reversed my initial thoughts. Now Damsel is much more steady, even if some of the controls are a bit harsh. I'm sure you know if you like these types of games. Let me know if you decide to pick it up.